Hey there, creepy peeps. My name is Nightmare Maven, and I love talking about horror. You guys love the tier rankings. I'm back with a tier ranking. If you're new here, hi, hello, welcome. So happy you found my channel. Hopefully you stick around for a little while. And if you're returning, welcome back. I'm very happy to see you again. As you can tell by the title of this video, I'm going to be tier ranking some of the most well-known 80s horror movies, except this isn't even like scratching the surface of all the 80s horror movies there are. I knew there were tons of amazing 80s horror movies, but I feel like sometimes your brain gets so like pigeonholed into thinking like 80s is just slashers or 80s is just this or just that you forget like just how many horror movies came out in the 80s. So this is a long list that I'm ranking today. And it's like, honestly, I could make a part 2 or 3 to this. For what it's worth, I'm ranking these based on personal enjoyment. I don't hate any of these movies. This is just based on how much I enjoy them. That's it. Literally, that's it. So with that, let's start with Sleepaway Camp, which is a really good example to start with how I'm ranking these. I think it's a great movie. I think I gave it like a 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd, but is it a go-to watch for me? Not really. I don't really turn this movie on for fun, maybe for background noise, and I might end up like sitting and watching like the last half of the movie. Hopefully that makes sense. It's not like one I would like put on to sit and watch and pay attention to. So it's a solid C for me, right in the middle. Next is The Lost Boys, which strangely for me is not one that I turn on to just like sit and enjoy very often. I don't know why that seems weird, but it feels like it should be one of those movies that I watch for enjoyment. Kind of just usually a background movie for me. So like, weirdly, you know when you put on a movie for background noise and it's like one of those movies that kind of gets you distracted? So you're like, I'm gonna put this on and I'm gonna like clean the living room, or I'm going to fold laundry or something like that, and then you end up getting distracted by the movie and just sitting there and watching it. I feel like that usually happens like the farther you get into the movie. Like once it starts really getting into it, about halfway through is when you end up just, you know, saying fuck it to whatever you're doing and you just sit and watch the movie. The Lost Boys is the opposite. Like if I were to turn that on for background noise, I would probably be distracted early on and watch the beginning of the movie. And about halfway through is when I would get bored and end up doing whatever it is I set out to do in the first place. So I feel like that should leave it at the C tier, but I'm actually gonna put it at B tier because the like vibes in the beginning are immaculate. Music choice also goes a long way with me, and the music in the beginning of this movie is, speaking of music going a long way with me, Fright Night. It has some great bops in this movie, and it also has a, you know, like theme song playing during the credits. We love that. We love a good song written expressly for the movie. It took me a while to get around to like finally watching this. Last October was the very first time I'd ever seen the original Fright Night. I know, it's like it's such a weird, I don't know, what weirdly took me a long time to see. Don't know why. It's a fun, creepy movie that's like an instant like go-to pick for like, you know, cozy Halloween vibes. It's just fun. An easy A for me. A Nightmare on Elm Street. An easy choice for me. What's not to like? What's not to like? It's easily going in God tier for me. Like if I'm turning this on, it is to watch the movie. Robert Englund is just too iconic to have on as background noise, you know? The kills are also too iconic, so easily God tier. All right, next up is Hellraiser. Just talking about the first one, obviously. I feel like the first Hellraiser for me is okay for what it is. For whatever reason, I just can't get into that movie. I don't know what it is, and it's weird because I want to like it so badly. I'm just not into it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think it's a bad movie. I don't hate it. There's nothing that I'm like very vehemently like antagonistic about. I just can't get into it, and I don't know why. I love the score. The Cenobites are awesome. I don't know. I feel like I gotta put this one on D tier. Not at the very bottom because I do want to like it very badly, but Friday the 13th, the first one, near the bottom of the list of movies that I'd put on to rewatch just for fun. And I'm just talking about the first one here because there are sequels that I would reach for to watch before I reach for the first one. So like part 2, part 4, Jason X, of course, Freddy versus Jason. There are just way more of the sequels of this franchise, you know, that I would choose to sit and watch for enjoyment before the first one. So sorry, this one's F tier for me. While we're on the F tier, let's talk about Child's Play. Creepy dolls just don't do it for me. I don't know, like, and I know Chucky is more than just a creepy doll, but I just, like, I don't know, I just can't get past that. I feel like the dolls are just way too easy to destroy. Like, I feel like Bride of Chucky, which I know is a lot of people, like, I know a lot of people really, really like that, would probably, if I were ranking them, would probably be my first pick. The rest of them, like, I've seen them once, and that's all I really feel like I need to see them. All right, let's move away from the F tier for a little bit with The Evil Dead. Definitely one of my favorite movies just in general. It's equal parts dark and silly. It's iconic in so many ways. Bruce Campbell is awesome in it. Whenever I want to have just like a chill movie night and I don't know what to watch, like I don't know what I want to watch, what I'm in the mood for, I'll put on The Evil Dead. Fairly consistent go-to for me. I'm gonna put it on the A tier though, just for that tree scene though, because it's always makes me a little bit uncomfy, but like luckily it's just a small part of the movie, so I'll put it on the A tier. All right, The Thing. The Thing is a great movie. The SFX are amazing and largely still unmatched, at least by any movies that I've seen. I love the overwhelming sense of dread at the end. I'm very much into that. Although it's not one I typically reach for to put on just, you know, for funsies. If it's already on though, like if it's on TV or something, I will definitely sit and watch it. So I think that deserves a B tier. Poltergeist. This is another movie just like The Thing where I think the movie itself is great. There's, you know, nothing against the movie. It's iconic, it's super influential. There's no doubting that. It's not one that I would reach for by choice. Kind of like Hellraiser. It's just like a franchise that I've never really been into. Like if it's on in the background, I will probably end up like sitting and watching the very end when everything starts going bonkers. But I think for that, I gotta put it on the C tier. Like, I know somebody's gonna comment, like I said like the same exact things about The Thing and it got on B tier, but there are no rules here except for the ones I'm making up on the spot, so. Gremlins. Combining two of my favorite things in the entire world, wintry holiday horror and disgustingly cute creatures. I am way too emotionally attached to Gizmo. Like, he is just a precious small being that needs to be protected at all costs. Like, he's so cute I could vomit. If I see Gizmo, I am stopping to watch the movie, period. It loses a spot though for me because I don't like that there are evil ones. Like, why do they gotta be evil ones? You gotta destroy a cute thing, you know? And the fact that the evil ones are a direct result of humans being humans, so A tier. All right, An American Werewolf in London. I feel like I'm about to make more people mad. This one's an easy E tier for me. It's a good movie. It's creepy as all get out, especially in the beginning. But the only thing that really draws my attention to that movie is the transformation scene. Besides the transformation and the beginning of the movie, like the initial werewolf attack, I find the rest of the movie kind of, I don't want to say it's boring. It just doesn't hold my attention. Like, it's not something I put on like to have a good time. I can just watch the transformation scene on YouTube, which I do a lot. Now, Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. That is what you put on to have a good time. She is the queen of having a good time. This movie was always gonna be up near the top, no matter what. It's just a fun movie. There's been a few times that I've actually put that movie on in the background, like while I'm trying to write video notes. I don't know why I thought that would be a good idea, because I just end up watching the movie and it takes me way longer to write my notes than I initially intended. I don't know what I was thinking. Just too good. I love the combination of like goofy fun and like dark gothic horror stuff. Like, they just combine so well. I love it. It's just so much fun. God tier. All right, The Shining. Does anyone watch this for enjoyment? Seriously? Anyone? I'm kidding, I'm kidding. You're way cooler than me if you sit and watch this movie for enjoyment, because to me it's just so depressing. Visuals though are unmatched, I will say. Like the visuals are fucking stunning. To me it's just very dark and depressing, like the subject matter, like it which is great because it makes it a very scary movie. It's extremely effective in that way, but I don't enjoy watching it. Not for funsies for me, so F tier. Just like ping-ponging between S tier and F tier right now. Creepshow, that's easy. God tier. I don't know how many times I've mentioned how much I love this movie and anthologies in general. I just fucking love a good anthology, both in movie and in book form. If you hand me a horror anthology, I will consume it. I put Creepshow on all the time. It's so much fun. I even have like the little like comic / graphic novel or whatever that got released for it. That's how much I love that fucking movie. Didn't include the second one on this ranking video, but that would be God tier too, because I also really, really love the sequel. All right, Reanimator. This is one where everyone's gonna point out my contradictions in the comments. This is definitely a goofy movie, and if you're sitting here watching this video, you've noticed like there's been kind of a trend, like some of the goofier movies end up near the top. So despite my proclivity for watching the sillier like horror comedies over and over again, I don't find myself gravitating towards this one. Like if it just happened to be on TV, I might leave it on for background noise. That's about it. Like if I need a Jeffrey Combs fix, I'm gonna watch The Frighteners or something. Like this just, I don't know. It's fun for what it is, but it's a E tier for me. All right. Let's talk about Night of the Demons really quick, because I've been going on a little bit of a journey with this movie. There was once a time where I would have written this movie off and probably put it in F tier. I know. It has been slowly growing on me. Like I've added it to my like watch list for October for the past few years, and it's growing on me. It's a good cheesy like 80s Halloween night fun. It gets me in the Halloween spirit. There are some pretty iconic moments in it for sure. It's not quite up there yet. I think for right now I'm still gonna put it on D tier, but I could do this video like a year or two from now and it would definitely be even higher up, I think. All right, The Blob. The Blob is another like kind of recent watch of mine. I think it watched it for the first time at the beginning of this year sometime for a Patreon movie night. So I can't say I've rewatched it many times yet because I just watched it for the first time this year, but oh my fucking God, I've never kicked myself so hard for not having seen a movie sooner. Like again, kind of like Night of the Demons, if I did this video like a year from now, it's gonna be even higher up, but because it's just growing on me. Like the movie was just so much fun. The kills were iconic. It's got its kind of dark and scary moments while also kind of being silly because it's, you know, this like gelatinous blob that's killing everything. So that's just kind of funny. Like, so it's gonna go on B tier for me because it was just like instant love. And it's still growing on me though. All right, I had to put another Christmas horror movie on here just so Gremlins wouldn't feel lonely. I'm conflicted as to where to put Silent Night, Deadly Night. Because on one hand, I watch this movie every single year around the holidays. It's very therapeutic, especially as somebody who works in retail and generally hates the Christmas season. On the other hand, there's some very dark shit in this movie. Like I wouldn't necessarily call this movie fun. We talked about it at length and it does this offend you. Like there's some like really heavy shit going on, especially in the beginning of this movie. I wouldn't necessarily like check off like fun time enjoyment watch for like, you know, a movie essentially about like extreme childhood trauma, but seeing somebody in a Santa suit kill a bunch of people is very cathartic for me. So for lack of a better placement, I'm gonna put it in C tier because I don't really know where to put it. And finally, Little Shop of Horrors. It's a musical, so that instantly makes it fun. No, not everybody's into musicals, but I'm very much into musicals. It's not one of my more frequently watched musicals if I was just talking about musicals in general, but I've been known to put this on from time to time. Like musicals are the perfect background movie though, because you know, you get the background noise, you know, something to kind of casually watch as you're doing something else. But then it's like putting on music in the background at the same time, because, you know, every time there's a song, you can take a break from whatever you're doing and like dance around your living room and pretend like you should have been on Broadway in another life or something. But a strong B tier movie for me, for sure. Oh my gosh, longest tier ranking video ever? Probably, but you guys said you like the longer content, so I live to serve. So here's the final ranking of everything, just to remind you so you can judge me in the comments for whatever I put at the bottom there. Please let me know like what your god tier 80s horror movies are in the comments. Yeah, that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new here, become a creepy peep today. I have one video every week, one live stream every week. I will see you very soon with something. Until then, stay strange. Bye.